Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the UK News. Today we're going to talk about the Second World War. To talk about this topic, we're going to divide it into before the Second World War and during the Second World War. Well, before the Second World War, the effects of the First World War One was that it was one of the most important events of the human history. The Great War affected Britain in three different sectors: the social, economic, and territorial. In the social field, Britain was not good at all because the nationalism and the patriotism ideas were disappearing. This was caused because people realized that war wasn't a good way to preserve the power of the nation, as they thought at the beginning. And also, they started to realize that the government hid information from them. Economically, they were destroyed. The war was expensive, and they used all the available sources, but thanks to Treaty of Versailles, Germany had to pay for all the expenses of the war. Territorially, Britain started to control the territories of Iraq and Palestine. Are the alliances before the war. In both World Wars, the alliances played an important role. Britain was on the Allies. This group born in 1907 with the name of the Triple Entente in the World War. First, it consisted of Russia, France, and Great Britain. The alliance became the Allies thanks to the two events. First, when the United States entered the war because of the submarine warfare caused by Germany, and the second event was when Italy left the Triple Alliance and supported Britain, France, and Russia. These alliances continued during the Second World War.
The most important cause of World War II was the Treaty of Versailles. This treaty was created as a consequence of World War I and was mainly created by the three main countries, USA, France, and Britain. The purpose of the treaty was to obligate Germany to pay for the expenses of the war. This was a punishment because the other countries believed that Germany started the war. That event caused a feeling of resentment on the German citizens.
The second part of the program is to talk about what happened during the Second World War. First, we're going to start with the declaration of war.
Declaration of War. By 1939, Germany violated some of the agreements that were signed in the Treaty of Versailles, rebuilding the military force of Germany. However, not everyone was impressed by the actions of Germany. Winston Churchill said that the appeasement policy was an unmitigated disaster. On September 1st, in 1939, Germany invaded Poland, breaking the appeasement policy, and 2 days later, after Great Britain and France gave an ultimatum to Germany to retreat, they declared war on Germany as part of the Anglo-Polish Pact. On September 3rd at 11:50 am, the Prime Minister made an announcement that the Germans did not retreat from Poland, and consequently Great Britain was at war with Germany. The leaders. Neville Chamber was a conservative politician and Prime Minister of Great Britain from 1937 to 1940, known for his policy of appeasement with Germany and declaring war on Germany after the invasion of Poland in 1939. Winston Churchill, Prime Minister of Great Britain from 1940 to 1945, commanded the British Empire through World War II and is best known for his speeches and led Great Britain through victory of the war. Bernard Montgomery was a British general and one of the most condecorated military officers during World War II, who led Allied troops to the first major victory of war, the Alamein in Egypt, and led important British operations like the Operation Overlord and liberation of spaces in Europe.
Important battles. The Battle of Britain. When Nazi Germany powers rose during the beginning of the Second World War, Germany aimed to conquer the Soviet Union territory. However, Germany could not focus on attacking the Soviet Union while having the United Kingdom or Britain as an enemy on the other side of the country. The D-Day. At some point, Nazi German territory covered France, Spain, among other countries. Germany's power was reaching its maximum splendor and strength. Therefore, Britain, France, Canada, and America created a plan to attack Nazi Germany and defeat Hitler.
The Second World War was one of the most terrible events in human history. Millions of lives were lost, our heritage got damaged, and a complete nation still feels ashamed of these past events. However, the aftermath of this disastrous event had positive and negative effects on our society. Right after the Second World War ended, the United Nations were created on October 24, 1945. Nowadays, several countries all around the globe commemorate the loss of those lives that were lost during the Second World War. The German concentration camps and ghettos are now touristic destinies visited by hundreds of people from all around the globe. When these tourists visit the concentration camps and ghettos, they are able to comprehend more and better this dark period of human history while they can learn from past mistakes.